questions to the fore: what do the citizens get out of this? In addition, an assertive Russia and a deteriorated security environment in Northern Europe has brought increased defence spending in order to rebuild and strengthen territorial defence. So what are the proper links between national capability developments, NATO requirements and the EU defence dimension? In this process, hybrid warfare, the use of new technologies, bi- and multilateral force formations and prospects for EU-NATO cooperation are key components. More fundamentally, the question of what European defence has to do with security in Northern Europe is about the value of a united Europe and how we share a common destiny, whether we want it or not. And I would like to expand a bit on this part. Because this weekend I was invited to Slovakia. I met with a group of people committed to a unified Europe and to a strong transatlantic community. Among them, the Foreign Minister of Slovakia, Miroslav, and the former President of Bulgaria, Rosen Plevneliev. In 2019, their countries will celebrate 30 years since the start of the transition into democracy, market economy, and open societies. And this in turn enabled them to fulfill their wish to join the EU and NATO. But as the group I attended discussed, this celebration comes at a time when there are increasing divide within Europe, between North and South, between East and West, as well as across the Atlantic. And there is also increased political polarization within the European states. In order to safeguard the future of Europe and to keep it at peace, to maintain prosperity, this divide needs to be addressed and handled. A divided Europe is a dangerous place. History has cruelly illustrated this several times, and we cannot forget that lesson. The ongoing war in Ukraine illustrates and is a constant reminder that armed conflict between states is still a real threat. So while the transatlantic relationship is indispensable for European security and defence, we Europeans must take a greater responsibility for our security and at the same time do more to enhance transatlantic security. And this is the main reason why I want to bring this discussion on European defence here to Stockholm and apply it to Northern Europe and the security situation here. Because we need a comprehensive perspective, regardless of whether we are situated in the south or the north, the east or the west of Europe. We share a common destiny, and I would argue that European defence cooperation that does not include Northern Europe will not contribute to European security. We will start this conference with our distinguished keynote speakers who will elaborate on this topic from their perspective before moving into the panel discussions, and we will end around 4 o'clock today. Unfortunately, the flu seems to have hit one of the contributors, Secretary of State from Poland and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Mr. Chipoche, had to cancel yesterday. But otherwise, we are on track, and let me just outline the dynamics of the panels. The first panel takes the temperature on the Franco-German engine that drives European defence cooperation. And the second panel after lunch lays out the security challenges for Northern Europe as a whole. And finally, the third panel aims at synthesizing these two perspectives by sketching on main components for a coherent Northern European approach, including, again, both German and French perspectives. I also want to take this opportunity to thank our partners and collaborators, the Konrad Adenauer Stiftung and the Embassy of Latvia here in Stockholm, for excellent cooperation in preparing for this conference. We're very happy to be here today with you. And I would like to give the floor also to Elina Klive, who is the representative of CAS today, for some introductory remarks. So please, Elina.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. The same big, mean flu who is keeping, or what is keeping our Polish speaker at home is also not letting Dr. Lars Hansen participate here. So it's my great pleasure to welcome you to this conference on behalf of Konrad Adenauer Stiftung. For the Stiftung Nordic Countries project, this is already the second year of a fruitful cooperation with Atlantic Council's office here in Stockholm. For us, being a German political foundation based in Riga, working with the Nordic countries and the Baltic states on a daily basis, a common approach to the Baltic Sea region is highly welcome. This is the reason why we appreciate the focus of this year's conference, which sheds light on the developments on both sides of the Baltic Sea as well as in Northern Europe in general. Discussing the Northern defense and security dimension with a special focus on the role of German-French tandem is both relevant and highly timely. Therefore, we are delighted to be part of this conference and want to thank one more time the Atlantic Council, Anna and Eileen, who is working somewhere out there, and also the Embassy of the Republic of Latvia. And as we are celebrating 100 years of Latvian statehood this year, we are especially happy to have such a strong Latvian presence at this conference. Having said that, enjoy the discussions and thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Elina. So we are delighted and honored that the ongoing governmental formation processes in both Sweden and Latvia actually have not hindered the engagement and the presence of our honorable keynote speakers to attend today. So we very much look forward to listen to both of you who have served in your positions for quite some time and have the possibility to follow the development of the European Defence Cooperation and to give it a thought how this applies to Northern Europe. So please join me in welcoming our first keynote speaker, the Minister of Defence of Sweden, Peter Hultqvist. Happy to have you.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, it's a pleasure to address you today. I want to thank the Atlantic Council and the Konrad Adenauer Stiftung, together with the Latvian Embassy in Sweden, for organizing this event and for giving me the opportunity to address you all. Last year at this conference, I described how the significance of the Baltic Sea region and the European security has increased. The military strategic situation in our region has deteriorated and the region has become less secure. This year I will focus on the importance of cooperation in meeting the security challenges facing Europe and the northern parts in particular. Against the backdrop of the current security situation in Europe, the trustful dialogue and how to respond to common challenges is essential. I am pleased to be here and take part of this discussion, and I would like to take this opportunity to present Swedish perspectives and highlight examples of our security and defence cooperation. The European Union is Sweden's most important foreign and security policy platform. Sweden supports efforts to improve defence and security cooperation within the European Union. During 2018, important steps have been taken to implement the initiatives launched within the European Union last year, such as coordinated annual review, the European Defence Industrial Development Programme and permanent structured cooperation. We have also agreed on the civilian CSDP compact. A stronger, more capable civilian capacity for crisis management is important in its own right and will also create better preconditions for improving civilian-military cooperation. It is essential for Sweden's security to have a strong and well-functioning European defence cooperation. The European Union and NATO are both instrumental for meeting today's complex security challenges in Europe and beyond. As a member of the European Union and a close partner to NATO, Sweden has a strong interest in an effective and result-oriented strategic partnership between these organizations. These partnerships should be complementary and focus on the organization's specific competencies and mandates. The transatlantic link is of vital importance, as well as a unified European response to the events challenging European and global security. Our goal is a stronger Europe in security and defense in a way that strengthens both European Union and the transatlantic cooperation. The security situation in the Baltic Sea region has deteriorated as a consequence of Russia's behavior the last years. Russia's challenging and assertive behavior continues to undermine our common security. Large-scale exercises such as Zapad 2017 and Vostok 2018 are characterized by a lack of transparency, which further damage trust. It's important that all states respect the Vienna document, and therefore Sweden invited several countries, including Russia, to send observers during our Aurora 17 exercise last year. We have seen Russian military build up in the region, as well as increased military presence and activities, including permanent deployment of advanced weapon systems. This reflects not only Moscow's objective to develop the Russian armed forces, but also determination of re-establish Russia as a great power with the right to define its sphere of interest. A recent example is Russian Su-24 flying over NATO's standing mine countermeasure group in the Baltic Sea the 22nd of November. Another example is that Russia has established a pattern of declaring restricted areas for weapons testing outside their normal area for such activities. Just a few weeks ago, this took place outside the coast of Norway during the exercise Trident Juncture 2018. Russia has also criticized Sweden regarding our partnership with NATO. We see this as an effort to try to influence Sweden's right to take its own security policy decisions. I have clearly declared that this sort of criticism is not acceptable. Clearly, Russian behavior also in Ukraine and Syria is a concern to us all and makes our response all the more important. In light of the security situation, cooperation and unity among like-minded nations and organizations is key. Sweden believes that challenges to European security must be met through cooperation and joint action. But on a national level, every country must take their share of the responsibility. Sweden is pursuing a defense policy with two pillars. First, we are reinforcing our national military capability. The single and the most important objective is to increase the warfighting capability of the military units and the overall operational capability of the Swedish total defense. By strengthening our defense, we are also raising the threshold for conflicts in our vicinity. Second, we are deepening our security and defense cooperation with other nations and organizations within our military non-alignment. Because of that, also, the two port visits by British frigates in Stockholm in the past 6 months are important. The most recent took place in November by HMS Westminster. We are also seeing a continuous presence of Allied naval forces in the Baltic Sea. The recurring visit of the British Navy, US Navy, and both requested and very welcome from our side. It sends a clear signal of our intent to build security with our close partners. But most important is to exercise together with other countries and partners, and then in a practical way build interoperability. This security and defense policy is based on a broad support in the Swedish Parliament. As this conference focuses on how deepened European defense cooperation relates to and can benefit security in Northern Europe, I would like to give you a more in-depth insight into Sweden's security and defense cooperation. We are deepening our cooperation with our Nordic neighbors, in particular with Finland and also with the Baltic states, Poland, Germany, the United Kingdom and United States, as well as with multilateral organizations as European Union and NATO. The cooperation between Sweden and Finland holds a special place in both our countries' security and defense policies. The bilateral cooperation with Finland is ambitious and extensive. It goes beyond all our other defense cooperation as it includes planning for scenarios beyond peacetime. Such planning and preparations shall be complementary to, but separate from, national operational planning in the two countries. This summer, my Finnish colleague and I signed a memorandum of understanding highlighting the importance of and permanency of our cooperation. By acting together in a predictable and consistent way, Sweden and Finland contribute to peace and security in our region. The Nordic cooperation is fundamental for Swedish defense and security policy. In November this year, a new vision for the new Nordic defense cooperation was signed. It reflects the common understanding that a serious security crisis in the Nordic region would affect us all, and that we need to be prepared and equipped to act together in peace, crisis and conflict. A continued close Nordic defense cooperation increases our military capabilities and strengthens our skills and to act together. The level of participation from the Nordic countries in the Swedish exercise Aurora last year and the NATO exercise Trident Juncture this autumn is a clear result of our joint efforts to improve our defense cooperation. My Norwegian colleague and I had the opportunity to see this firsthand when we visited Trident Juncture together. When we train and exercise together, we strengthen our national capabilities and our capacity to act jointly, but we also send a strong signal to potential aggressors that we will defend ourselves if needed. Several actors have a significant role in contributing to security in Northern Europe, and our bilateral and multilateral cooperation are cornerstones in building security together. The Nordic Defence Cooperation and the Northern Group, which adds the Baltic states, Germany, Poland, the Netherlands and the United Kingdom, are important platform for building security together in Northern Europe. I truly believe that regional security will be of benefit to Europe as a whole. The Swedish relationship and cooperation with the United Kingdom is of strategic importance. The UK has similar views as Sweden concerning the current security situation in Europe, and for the security of our region it is important that the interest and commitment of a strong military play like the UK. An important part of this cooperation is the British-led Joint Expeditionary Force, which can contribute to both capacity building and regional security. The transatlantic link is of vital importance, as well as a unified European response to the events challenging European and global security. For the stability in the Baltic Sea region, US and NATO presence is necessary. Therefore, we welcome NATO's enhanced forward presence, and we welcome the US efforts to further strengthen its presence in Europe. Sweden has a long-standing bilateral defense cooperation with the United States. We have seen developments within several areas. One good example is training and exercises. The bilateral cooperation has been substantial in Aurora 2017, in Trident Juncture 2018, and will be intensive in the coming large flag-level air operation exercise, Arctic Challenge Exercise 2019. Another example of cooperation between US and Sweden is armament. Sweden is buying the ground-based air defense system Patriot from the US. Likewise, US is buying the Saab Wind Trainer aircraft TX. Together with Finland, we have the complementary trilateral cooperation with the US. We signed a trilateral statement of intent this spring. As regular participants in multinational exercises, we will develop our cooperation further in a trilateral format. Sweden bilateral and trilateral security cooperation with US and our partnership with NATO are complementary. The alliance plays an indispensable role for transatlantic and European security due to these unique capabilities and institutional strength. The importance of Sweden's NATO partnership has grown in light of the deteriorated security situation in our neighborhood. The partnership with NATO is crucial to developing the interoperability and capabilities of the Swedish armed forces, both for national defense and for international crisis management operations. Through our status in the Enhanced Opportunity Program, we are seeking to further strengthen the partnership, in particular regarding cooperation in a potential regional crisis. In this context, political dialogue with NATO on common security challenges and how to counter them is of strategic value. Training and exercises and information exchange are other priority areas in our partnership with NATO. In order to respond to the security challenges we are facing in our neighborhood, we need to use all our security policy instruments at our disposal. Apart from strengthening defense cooperation and national defense, we need to do more on confidence-building measures, arms control, risk reduction, and remain open for political dialogue. Even though difficult, we need to pursue the structured dialogue in the OSCE with the existing security order as normative framework. Also need to actively pursue the instruments we still have in place, such as Vienna document and open skies. These are important parts of European security architecture and of relevance to Baltic Sea security as well. Finally, let me say a few words on our national processes and the way ahead. We have started the preparations for the next defense bill, covering the period 2021 to 2025. The first important step is the work carried out by the Swedish Defence Commission, including representatives from all parties in the Parliament. The security situation calls for broad agreements on the future developments of Swedish defence, and I have great expectations on the work carried out by the Defence Commission. Thank you for listening.
Thank you so much, Minister, for this very extensive, I think, and interesting expose of where we are for Swedish defence politics ahead. I have a couple of questions, and then we will also have time for you to make a few interventions if you want to, so raise your hand. But I would like to ask you, you mentioned Swedish-Finnish cooperation, which is of course very close and tight when it comes to security and defense cooperation. Finland, if we talk about European defense initiatives, have decided to join the French initiative, E2I, and where is Sweden in that regard?
We are now an administrative government, and I think that this is a decision that must be taken by a new government. So we have that process on hold, so we have to come back to that later. But there is a positive attitude.
There's a positive attitude. We note that, okay. And I also wanted to ask you, since you underline the importance of like-minded nations, United Kingdom is one of those important for us up here in Northern Europe, and as we all are aware, now as it seems Brexit is on its way. How do you, in your view, yes, the notation perhaps on that, but it seems like it. What is your view on how can the UK be part of European defence in the future? What role would you like to see for the UK, even though they are leaving the EU when it comes to European defence?
First of all, I don't know what will happen with Brexit. Then I think the day after the referendum in Great Britain, Michael Fallon, who was the defense minister at that time, he called me and said that you should know that we want to be a security provider, we want to be part of European security, we want to take our responsibility, and we want to cooperate. And I think that that was a very important and positive signal. And we see United Kingdom as a very important partner for Sweden, and we have this memorandum of understanding with 54 topics, and we work very intensively with all of them. And we have also joined the Joint Expeditionary Force, so we want to have an active Great Britain involved in European security. We see that as an interest for Sweden, and we will also work for that inside the European Union.
Thank you. Do you have questions from the audience? Yes, here in the back. There. Is the only microphone is this one? Gives me some exercise.
Better bench.
Good morning, my name is Jana Pujeli. I'm a Berlin-based think tanker working for the German Council on Foreign Relations. And I have a question exactly on the security cooperation with the UK after Brexit, if it ever happens. The recent decision of the UK to leave the Galileo project because they didn't see their security needs fulfilled or their industrial interests matched. How is that right here in Sweden? Is that seen as a wake-up call that for future cooperation there are some lessons to be learned, how to treat the UK as a third partner, or is that seen as kind of a collateral damage and yeah, what is your take?
I should be very clear, we want United Kingdom as a third partner, we want them inside cooperation on all levels, we want them as a partner, and we want to have them involved in our part of Europe and in European Union security work. So we want to keep up with that tie to Great Britain, and now I've been over clear.
Thank you.
Minister Julian Lindley-French, I'm afraid I'm going to follow up on this question by addressing the elephant in the room. Let me be blunt. This deal will be hated by millions of Brits, and I do not think it will stand. And you cannot separate Brexit from Britain's defence role. I'm a passionate believer in Britain playing that role that you describe. But I fear that if we continue on the current track, the popular support for Britain's engagement in European security and defence will fade at the popular level. Is Sweden aware of that danger? And are you at some point willing to give the United Kingdom a better deal than the one that's on the table?
Here, here.
I should not go into the negotiation process, but I think I have been clear in this question and what our ambition is. So I don't know if it's needed for any more comments from my side.
Thank you very much. I think I will let you go by that answer, and we really appreciate that you took your time to come here and share your perspective once again. We had you last year, we will appreciate it this year, and we will see what will happen for next year. But we wish you good luck with that also. Thank you for everything you have done so far. So, time has come for our next keynote speaker, and I'm delighted to have with us across from the Baltic Sea, Mr. Hansen, who is State Secretary in the Ministry of Defense of the Republic of Latvia, Riga. Please, Hansen.
Oh, good morning. Minister Kukwist, thank you Atlantic Council and Konrad Adenauer Shipton for inviting us to express our views. I think it's quite timely actually to talk about European defense, because there's a lot of things in information space, and I always say it doesn't matter what you say, what you meant by saying that, it doesn't matter how the rest perceived those things, at least in the current environment. And I will of course give our Baltic perspective, and it's what we realize, we have to be very real on what we're doing and what we actually on the threats and everything else. Unless we are not real on those things, then we might, lose that touch with reality. And always when I think about defense, it doesn't matter which defense, either our national defense or European or NATO, I always somehow, the story about three little pigs comes to me. And you know all that story about that we told to your kids, that there is a mother pig wants to small little pigs to leave, and then the lazy builds a house from straws, the second not so much lazy builds a house from sticks, and then the third, who is not at all lazy, builds a house from bricks. And I think that when we're talking about defense of our countries and defense of our society, it's very important that we not pretend building neither straw neither stick houses. We have to build houses from bricks, because if that's the peculiar thing about defense, because if you live into virtual reality, the wolf might come and test your house. And that is something what we don't want, actually, I think. And therefore, being in the Baltics, of course, we are enjoying the public attention that all those think tanks are writing in how many hours Russians will invade us. I think that's the most popular thing. And of course, the issue of probably all housewives now about locking up nowadays. It used to be secret, nowadays it's everywhere. Everybody knows about that. Therefore, I think we've been quite open on that, what we're doing. We have to build our defenses, but we have to understand the comprehensive nature of the threats. Because it's not only about military threats, it's also about asymmetric threats, it's about cyber, it's about information space, it's about your infrastructure, about your economy, and many other things actually, because that's how we are affected on a daily basis. And at the end, and probably the least, not the last, it's psychological influences. Because you have to think about how your population are affected by external influences. Because what's happening, at least in our case, that is brainwashing and attempts to psychologically affect our society. And if we don't aware of those processes and we rejecting those processes, then we actually in self-rejection and we can't actually do anything. And I think the biggest problem, we have to consider more broader approach to resilience, not just react to something. We have to come out of this reactive mode as we've been doing. We can blame, whoever we want to blame, but it's about our weaknesses. Once we not recognize our weaknesses, and once we're not talking about that, today it's somebody in the East, next day it might be somebody, somebody else. And if we're not taking more proactive stance on those issues and we're not building resilient societies, then we will become more and more vulnerable because with the development of IT technologies, of digital everything, we basically becoming, we might say it's our advantage, but it's simultaneously it's our disadvantage because everything what is digital, it can be affected, it can be jumped, it can be, you have to consider all consequences of our future society. Therefore, what we realize that we have to we basically put forward to the government, and I hope next week government will approve the concept of comprehensive defenses, which will include all three aspects of defense. Some might say that it's the newer version of total defense, but you can say total defense number 2 or number 3, but looking from our perspective, we have to be aware that we will not be able to resist in long term to that kind of outside pressure if we will not deal with resilience of our societies. And that includes both military, or civil defenses, and also psychological resilience. And what we've been doing on our side, as I said, when I visit units, I always ask commanders, are you ready to fight the war with everything that you have? Because that is a big issue. That is the main issue. You don't need to build anything if you're not ready to fight the war. And we can't be illusionist about many things if we that is actually how we might be tested. If we pretend that we can do something, but in reality we can't do that. That is the biggest problem. What we've done since 2014, because of political decisions to increase the budget, and now this year is the first budget and we have 2% of GDP, we rebuilt our force, basically retrained it. I think we try to escape the trap of creating paper units. What it matters is real units on the ground, and we have to build units that can ready to fight. And not numbers matters, the quality matters. Because, and I have to say, for those who are saying that that money doesn't matter, no, money really matters. Because I've seen a situation when we had 1.5% of GDP, and we barely could sustain our international operations and could not finance even nothing on territorial defense. Now it's a completely different situation. Therefore, we should be very clear on that. Money matters, and you need money basically to build your capabilities. And in our case, but I think it's very important also to understand that geography matters, and we have to achieve the with the smallest outputs, we have to achieve the biggest, with the smaller inputs, we have to achieve the bigger outputs, because we are quite aware that we will be the first responders anyway, therefore the self-defense is very important for us. And I always would like to quote Rand, who said that Russians will be 72 hours in Riga. Yes, if you perceive that Riga is in Baghdad, in the middle of desert, Riga is surrounded by forests and swamps and lakes and rivers, and it's not so easy actually. If you understand how you're fighting the war, how you protect your territory, certainly we will not going to repeat the battle for Bundt, but there will be battle for Riga. What I think on comprehensive defense, where we currently standing, we are part of already many things that we initiated. We had this year we had the biggest national exercise with 10,000 troops actually engaged, and the whole exercise was happening in civilian areas, not in the training ranges. But also there was a very important part on civil defenses, engaging municipalities, engaging even commercial banks, because there might be situations when you don't have electricity. What your banks will do if you don't have electricity, because your all data of banks actually is digital right now, and how you will actually perform your basic functions of the society, and cyber issues, and we even evacuated government. And try to actually organize all command control from remote areas. And we, I think, discovered many things once you start to train and to engage all different agencies. There are a lot of aspects that you have to take into account when you're planning defenses. It's not only it would be the biggest mistake if it perceives that armed forces will fight and the rest of society will simply stay and wait what's happening. Actually, you have to develop all those related things, including economy. Therefore, we need security of supply because we have to ensure that even if the Suwalki gap is closed, then we have to ensure that we have sufficient industrial capability to sustain our forces. And on psychological thing, I think there is an issue of values that we have to consider in our societies, because if your society is affected on a daily basis, society has to know what to fight for, what values we're protecting. And I'm not going into this discussion more deeper, but it's what we've been doing this year. We introduced state defense curriculum in schools, and the Parliament voted that it should be mandatory from 2024, and that will bring actually more statehood, more critical thinking, and also military education into our youngsters, and I hope we will build resilience on that. And of course, but that is our national, we don't want, our aim is to deter, not to fight the war. We have to be ready, and therefore we have NATO. And I always say, whenever this discussion about whom to choose, NATO or European, I say that it's a very difficult choice, and you want to choose us between mother and father, because we can't imagine right now that there might be a situation where NATO doesn't exist and the United States leave Europe. At least we have to do everything to avoid such situations. That would be the biggest mistake what we can at this point do. And I think the NATO, what NATO is doing in the region is very important, and I think NATO exceeded, from my perspective, all expectations with the deployment of ESP. I would say that it's not only political and military value what the ESP brings, but also the psychological battle, because they do a lot of outreach activities, and that actually counters immediately Russian narrative on NATO and everything else. And besides that, I think what we started a new project of multinational division North, setting up where they came up with this initiative, and there will be divisional headquarters commanding the territory of Latvia and Estonia. And that, I think, is much more important. We always talk about common procurements. It's not about, actually, if you look from the warfighting perspective, it's command control that matters. It's not about common procurement matter. You have to have common operational picture and common understanding. And finally, of course, I come to European defense. And I think you already noted my remarks. We needed to have strong European defense, but then we have to be very clear what's European defense. That what I think it's, we see there's a lot of deficiencies in tanks and air defenses. And when we start talking about European autonomy, well, I would say be very careful what you wish and where we might end. Are we ready to fight alone right now without the United States? We're not. And I think we should be very clear. We've been talking about Europe being soft power, not hard power. Are we there now, as 5 years ago? I think we somehow lost on that kind of, we can't, consider building European defenses if we don't have money, and that I already mentioned. The first thing what many countries have to do actually to raise the budgets, because all those initiatives of smart defense, pooling and sharing, and I will be probably too blunt, they were meant to cover that we pretend that we can build anything without money, but de facto we can't build anything without money. Money is needed, we want it or not, and if you want capabilities, then you need money, unfortunately. But there's a lot of things that Europe can do. Military mobility first and most important, because we have to ensure, and I think we have had EU battle groups for years. And why we're not trying to talk about something else, that we have not utilized European battle groups for anything. We have to start probably using that tool and not try to invent something new, because we can't agree. If we can't agree of the use of battle groups, what we will do with something else. I think the problem is we have to understand that there is a security aspect in every area of our life, and it relates also to the European Commission with I mentioned security of supply, information space. It's not only about the market economy. The Northern Stream 2 is not about market economy. It's about policy and influence. And once we not in Europe and in the European Commission particularly don't understand those things, we have problems, because on the other side of the border, everything is done according to geopolitical and influence theory. Therefore, and I will not touch IMF treaty and violation of Russians in that, because I'm sometimes wondering whose cities are threatened by the new Russian missiles, and Americans or European. I would say that it's more about threats to European cities, and we somehow try to pretend that it's nothing happening. And I want to actually end with, and I hope you kept in mind my story about three little pigs and brick house, but I want to end with Sun Tzu. And Sun Tzu, actually, a quote from Sun Tzu: if you know the enemy and you know yourself, you will fight. You will not need fear for the result of hundreds of battles. If you know yourself but not enemy, for every victory gained, you will also suffer defeat. If you know neither enemy nor yourself, you will succumb to every battle. And I think that is, particularly when we talking about European defenses, we have to probably learn our weaknesses and our strengths and also the enemy, and then start drawing big plans for the future. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for that, Māris. And we will do it like this. We will have a Q&A with you. I would like you to remain there. However, our minister needs to leave, so we would like just to take a quick photo of the two of you, and perhaps one with me as well. And then we will let you go, and we can continue the Q&A because we have a little bit of while, so I would like to continue this conversation. So if we could do it like that, please, Peter. So, there, after this little intervention, let's continue. I wanted to pick up on a few things in this excellent speech you held. And one is on the broad response that is needed, as you say, the brainwashing that is ongoing, what you could say a wish to perhaps undermine our democracies or open societies with intensive but ongoing actions against our institutions. You mentioned that is important, and if you talk about European defence, the EU dimension, I think that could really be something for the EU to work more with. Do you agree with that? Could the EU as an institution be doing much more for that, and perhaps in particular in this region?
Yes, I would say there's a lot of things that the EU can do, starting with revising all audiovisual market, and when you deal with audiovisual directives and things like that. But then on the practical thing, why we would not, let's say, create a single channel for EU nations, because what we experiencing at least in the Baltics, that you have very strong, attempts to influence our populations through media, and we don't have really on the other side, we don't have really, we can't compete with, our resources are miserable compared to on the other side of the border. Why we not consider the channel financed by European Union? But then it's again, it's not about propaganda. It's about very attractive channel which actually attracts population, and that and I always say, because I'm Snakke Norske, and I'm speaking Norwegian, and I wanted to watch actually Scandinavian Andžāns, and it's not impossible in Latvia because it's the property rights, and then when you start to talk about influence and things like that, how we would influence that. There is Russian channels registered in London or in Stockholm, and they actually enjoy freedom of European audiovisual market, and we can't even get Scandinavian channels. It's I think it's about influence, and we haven't got there on that kind of terms.
You also mentioned the importance of having money for defense and to spend it wisely, because there are many needs. The minister here talked about how Sweden has procured the Patriot system, and I believe air defense is one such asset. If you look at the Baltic Sea region, which we don't have enough of altogether. Could the EU be useful in those kind of analysis and processes as this now is developing, or is that something that should stay within NATO?
Well, I think the first thing that we can do is those things already done in NATO, and what we can do, NATO might share those capability goals with the EU, and then of course the EU might contribute to implementation of those goals, because those, as I said, it's not it's our national responsibility to have capabilities that we actually meant to fight the war, and air defense is one thing, I think, which is completely a shortage in Europe. And then what we expect is to bring everything to us.
Very good. Any questions? Yes? Yeah.
Yes, Michta, Swedish newspaper, Dagens Nyheter. You said that you need money to increase defense, and from a regional perspective and from Latvia's perspective, is it the problem that Sweden is the Baltic Sea country that spends the least on defense, 1%, while other countries are, as you, spending 2% or are moving towards 2%? This may be a sensitive question, but to see from a logical point of view, how is that affecting regional security? Thank you.
Well, I would say it's a decision of every government how to build its national defenses. Of course, as I told, money is needed to build defenses, but I think I'm not in the position to any of the governments.
My name is Øystein Imoset, and I'm the defense attaché to Sweden and Latvia. My question is about money. First of all, I want to give much credit to Latvia, because you have, as you said, also been buying Black Hawks, you have been buying artillery, you have built up on the base at the sea, you have had the biggest exercise since 1991 this year. So I think it's very good, actually, what you have been doing. So it's a pity that Mr. Hultqvist left, because what have you been doing to be able to raise from 1% of GDP to 2% in 3 or 4 years, as you've actually done? What have you done to be able to reach that? Because I think that that's a huge problem for Sweden, that they are at 1%, that's already said.
Well, as I'm mainly, my prime responsibility is to be responsible for money spent. Of course, I have to say it's not easy, but also from the from other side, if there is a political will, we have to ready to accommodate that. And of course, the biggest issue is how to not spend that money somewhere else, because we had already a bad experience before joining NATO, when we spent defense money on many different things, but not on defense. And of course, I have to say that currently, and I'm proud to say that our politicians state that the money, all money, the budget is clean and money is spent on defense. But it's not easy, of course, because you have to sign all contracts and everything. It's not easy.
I just want to pick on one thing before we let you off, and that's, as you mentioned, Nord Stream 2. There has been quite a discussion here as well, but to connect it to your story about the 3 pigs and whether you build a house of bricks because you think it can actually be tested. Is that what is lacking in Europe, since we don't seem to get anywhere really on how to view Nord Stream 2? There is still no consensus if you look at the EU. Is that part of the problem in your view, or how should we analyze it?
Well, I would say that we have to look comprehensively on what we're facing, what our threats are, because I think we sometimes tend to divide the problem. There is a military problem, there is probably some fake news, what you call, and we not putting the puzzle together, because that is, I think, very clear, at least from our perspective, that what we're facing is comprehensive approach, and whenever there is an opportunity, you will get either some interferences in your economy or your cyber, you can information warfare, psychological warfare. But that's actually, as I said, we came to the conclusion that you have to deal in comprehensive. The response has to be comprehensive, and you have to be proactive. You can't fight just every attempt, every case that you face. At the end you will lose anyway. Therefore, we have to build more proactive, and we have to build resilience, and that resilience is based on all sectors of basically of your life. Unfortunately, there's no other solution. If you can provide me with that other solution, I would be happy to listen. But so far, we came to the conclusion that modern version of total defense is the only solution how we can change that.
Well, thank you so much for those interesting remarks, for bringing a perspective from Latvia here to Stockholm today. And we wish you good luck with the processes also in Latvia ahead, and with the new comprehensive defense concept also. So thank you so much for coming. We'll immediately move into the panel discussion. If someone needs to have a short technical break, this is a chance, but otherwise we will just refurnish and go on with the first panel.